He said his car fears overheating, so limits drivers to 6,000 RPM. It's cool for ages. Luckily, during the endurance race, they can repair the cars. He even brought in a professional pit crew for his drivers. What a show-off. This way, their cars were as fast as if they had cheat codes. In the final hour, the vice president's driver zoomed to first, while Miles was stuck at the end. The outcome was crystal clear. The VP was so happy he threw a party, and Shelby, being carefree, quickly jotted down a celebration slogan. He raised the sign high, precisely at the moment when Miles slammed down on the gas pedal. The Ford GT40 took off like a wild stallion, zooming past opponents, while the VP looked increasingly anxious. Now things were heating up. Then came Miles' gear-shift acceleration, instantly surpassing the third-place driver, heading straight for the final turn. It was time to show true prowess. Miles pushed the speed up to 7,000 RPM, letting out a beastly roar as he swiftly passed second place. Watching the VP driver hot on his heels, only a kilometer to go. Miles exhibited calmness akin to a gentle breeze, while the VP driver could only follow helplessly behind, suffering from the exhaust fumes with great frustration. With the checkered flag waving, Miles dashed across the finish line, earning a ticket to Le Mans. Everyone cheered for him. Shelby felt the weight lift, celebrating with friends that night, but he knew the real test was the upcoming Le Mans in 5 months. Back home, Miles saw his son studying the Le Mans layout, and said he'd show his skills there. He said he would aim for a flawless performance at Le Mans, a feat no one has accomplished to this day. June 1966. Miles couldn't sleep before the race, so strolled the racetrack. Just habit. He thought only by walking each curve personally could he feel how stubborn the upcoming roads would be. As the race began, competitors rushed to their cars, but the track became a stage for drama. Many drivers crashed before even starting, while Miles narrowly escaped but found his car door wouldn't shut. He had to steer with one hand and hold the door shut with the other, truly a dual tasking in the driving world. At that moment, the red Ferrari zoomed by, and Miles' situation was simply hilarious. While others completed a lap, Miles was still battling with his car door. He finally made it to the pit stop, but the crew struggled for ages without success. 4:27 fuss while Ferrari watched the show. At a crucial moment, that brought out the family's legendary hammer. Talk about better safe than sorry. Finally, Miles could unleash his long-suppressed dream. Even though he was down, he charged ahead. At Le Mans, the GT40 rode like a beast as speeds rose, and Miles surpassed opponents, reaching 20th. In 3:34, he set a new record. His son cheered in front of the TV, and Shelby smiled proudly. But this was just an appetizer. The third lap was more spectacular, pulling off 229 /h, a miracle. This was practically an impossible mission back then. He didn't even brake while taking turns. He used inertia to swing through the turn. The crowd erupted in cheers, and the commentator was left speechless, truly unbeatable. When the race reached a quarter, the number 20 Ferrari driver was eliminated due to an accident, while the other two Ferraris firmly held the front positions. Old man Enzo stayed with his drivers, truly a car enthusiast. Meanwhile, the Ford aristocrat sneaked away with his pretty secretary, while the race had already gone on for 8 hours. Miles was only 2 laps behind when suddenly a downpour hit, risk levels skyrocketing. Waning weather was a big test for every driver. Awkwardly, Miles lost control of his car. He gently pressed the brake, and the opponent immediately lost control, crashing into the roadside. What a ruthless battle. At high speed, GT40 had brake issues. After a violent collision, Miles had to head to the pit. The extended time taken for the brake replacement allowed Ferrari to gain another lap, which meant that Miles could no longer just be a driver, but instead had to transform into a competitive driver at this decisive moment. Fortunately, Shelby reminded him to turn the tide. He needed to overtake 2 more times. He furiously accelerated until dawn, finally catching up with the opponent before a 90-degree turn. What a thrilling moment. The 2 cars raced together at 230 mph, 370 km/h, neither willing to yield. At such speeds, going into turns would definitely make anyone's heart race. Only 300 200 100 to the turn. Ultimately, Bandini made the decision to press down on the brakes, and Miles was well aware that this lap signified the arrival of the true challenge. He could only push his speed racing without counting the laps. Finally, he caught up with the Ferrari again, and Bandini wouldn't back down. Miles knew he had to floor the gas. The RPM shot up to 7,000, while the Ferrari ominously climbed to 9,000. The Ferrari gradually overtook the GT40. Bandini grinned, but the next moment, he became the crying driver. All three Ferraris remarkably struck on the track, and Miles not only left the rest of his team far behind by an astonishing 4 minutes, but the glow of victory was already within arm's reach. But at critical moments, the VP appeared like a ghost and threw a wrench in the works. Now Ford occupied the top 3. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content ahead.